What's going on, Baffle Gang? We're gonna get into this one immediately. We got a lot of these alien twats out there. We got a lot of these alien bozos that we're gonna talk about. We got conspiracies as well. And there's this clip that I also wanna show you. I think you're gonna love this one. You're gonna have a ball with this one tonight, guys. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you're brand new. Roll it.
So yeah, guys, I think it's pretty obvious now that they are trying to open a portal at Cern. Is it to hell? I don't know. But definitely somewhere. I mean, Nike seems to think so. Let's watch Nike's new commercial about Cern. Yeah. So this commercial not so subtly starts off in Geneva, Switzerland, the location of Cern. And we have two pretend scientists, much like the actual pretend scientists over at Cern, argue about who's a better soccer player, or football player as the world calls it. And yeah, hijinks ensue as they open up portals to the past in the multiverse of football or something. Okay. Yeah, just watch this. Yeah, so we get clone players, we get a cartoon player who turns into a demon. That's interesting. And yeah, so what is going on?
Freemasons are coming to create the Luciferian New World Order. Let's break this down. We're back.
No, I hear that it's a little creepy, but it's not like too big of a deal, I think. But I guess the too big of a deal is that it's coming from Geneva, right? That's where they got Cern as
for more Olympic symbolism. It's your favorite conspiracy jerk here to ruin your good time. This time we're talking about the symbolism of the closing ceremony. We saw the dystopian alternative reality with a fallen spirit named the Golden Voyager. The directors said this character is based on the Voyager mission Golden records we sent to our alien overlords back in the 70s. Voyager was the mission that confirmed we had the hexagon on the pole of Saturn, just like we saw on the Olympics medals. Illuminate confirm all day. President Jimmy Carter told the aliens that we hope to join the galactic civilizations. Speak for yourself, brother. I'm staying right here in the good old US of A, where we won all the medals because we are literally the best at everything. If you listen to my full 30-minute podcast episode, you'll hear the breakdown of the occult basis for the Voyager.
I guess this man is all about America. Yeah, now I get that.
Golden records, because it's rooted in ancient astronaut theory nonsense going back to Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, which influenced the ancient aliens movement with Eric von Daniken, Jack Parsons, and Werner von Braun. They played the Hymn to Apollo track, which once again confirms our first Olympics opening ceremony theory about the pagan gods Apollo and Osiris, because it's all about the worship of the intellect. This is the Luciferian world religion. At the beginning of the closing ceremony, the announcers told us the Golden Voyager is searching for the lost Olympic spirit. This is the lost word of Freemasonry, which is exactly what we talked about for the opening ceremony show, which you can catch on my free podcast feeds or even my YouTube channel now. But no ritual would be complete without the world's second greatest actor, Tommy Salami, jumping off the roof to get the flag and bring it back to LA to hand it off to Anthony Kiedis and Snoop Dogg.
Tom Cruise, right? That's Tom Cruise, right? Oh shit! Oh shit!
It's interesting. The study that says we shouldn't eat animal-based diets and have meat, funded by people who sell fake meat.
Is genetically modified pea protein, smothered in glyphosate and other neurotoxins that are banned in every other country in the world, and also for good measure mixed with inflammatory canola oil. This is the playbook. You have the NIH saying that Cheerios are healthier than organic quinoa. You shamefully have the NIH jointly with food companies saying that a diet 91% in ultra-processed food was actually healthy and nutritious. And you recently had a group of conflicted Harvard doctors bashing a leading scientific journal for questioning ultra-processed food. Rachel, this is all an effort.
Processed food is bad. Like, that's like simple, right? So they are saying eating meat is bad for you. Okay, I'm not talking about like the vegans out there. If you're vegan by choice or if that's your religious beliefs, I respect that, okay? You do you, boo-boo. I got nothing against that. But so they're thinking about it this logically, right? So they're saying eating meat is bad, but hey, you can eat the fake meat that we're creating. That's actually healthy. What? That don't even make sense though, because the fake meat is something that you are make, and it's similar to the real thing. You're making that basically, I guess, because the supply isn't there or something like that.
Effort that I saw firsthand by the food industry to convince us that ultra-processed food, which is much more profitable than natural food, is healthy. And it's a bizarre world because the opposite is true. We're getting sick and the environment's being destroyed because of our farming processes that that give us ultra-processed food.
Japanese authorities are urging people in a wide area of the country to take precautions against a possible megaquake.
BBC
But why?
News.
And what does this actually mean? A few days ago, a 7.1 earthquake hit Japan's southern coast, and while it didn't cause any major damage, it did hit the edge of a seismically active area called the Nankai Trough. This stretches all the way from central Japan to the boundary of Kyushu Island in the south. For decades, people in Japan have been warned about the big one happening at some point in the Nankai Trough. Big earthquakes in this area tend to strike every 100 to 150 years. The last one was in 1946. So how big is the big one? Well, according to the Meteorological Agency, it's a magnitude 8 to 9, with a subsequent huge tsunami. For context, the one which struck the Northeast in 2011 was a magnitude 9. It triggered a massive tsunami, a nuclear disaster, and nearly 20,000 people. Now, the Nankai Trough is a heavily populated area, so a mega earthquake there is estimated to be much more. While officials have said there is a higher chance than usual of a mega earthquake striking, they weren't saying it would happen in a certain period and have not asked people to evacuate. Instead, residents of Japan's Pacific coast have been asked to be vigilant and to check evacuation routes. Remember, this is Japan, the land of quakes. It sits on the Ring of Fire and experiences about 1,500 tremors a year. What's different about this one is that this is the first time such an advisory was issued.
Look at this.
Yeah, like they're really like used to it. So now they when Japan says, "Hey man, we gotta issue a warning," when Japan issues a warning, it's serious because like you heard her 1,500 tremors a year.
Look at that long one. You just
that was water. This water?
You just disintegrate.
I thought that was
Look, there's another long one right there.
What's that?
You disintegrate. Oh, look at this long one.
Oh, so you're cutting it, but it's still alive?
What is that?
It's like lizard genes, kind of, right? You cut the tail of the lizard, but the lizard's still alive, and it can regrow another one.
They're everywhere. Hold on. Watch this. Look at that guy. You see that guy? What are these?
Yeah, they're saying like, you can't kill me, bitch.
Have you ever heard of the GATE program?
No.
Program that was started way long ago back in the 80s. It was this program that was put into schools, and schools would pick out certain kids. It seemed kind of random, and they would just do certain testing and reading and stuff like that. It's just kind of a cool system, right? The problem with this program is that they are funded and created by the CIA. They would bring these kids into a windowless room, sit these kids down, and they would test them, being blindfolded in these tests as well, trying to move things. They would take field trips with the GATE program
No.
outside of the school. In one instance, they took kids into a museum, into a room where there was a mummy. And they had them stay overnight with no parental supervision. All this strange things, and it just doesn't make sense. And for the CIA to be involved, you know there has to be something malicious.
I don't know if y'all know that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of the remote program, remote viewer. Ever heard of that term? Let me know if you have. One if you have. One in the comments if you have. Two if you have not. Now, essentially, we heard that they also ran tests with it where, quick little context here, so somebody would be sitting, for example, if I claim to be a remote viewer, or if I can, what this is that all of us can remote view. It's like knowing how to, I guess, right? They say all of us can possess the ability. Now, essentially what remote view is that I'm sitting here, of course, I don't know what's going on outside, right? Now, if I commit to doing the remote viewing, I would know what's happening outside. So what these remote viewers would do is that we heard this, whether you want to call it conspiracy, real, that's up to you, but this is what's being reported, and this is what we heard, right? A remote viewer would be on the moon, I mean on Earth, but be able to remote view on moon, different planets, and they apparently captured or saw, remote viewer claimed they saw alien bases on the dark side of the moon, or far side of the moon, whatever you're gonna call it, and then they would draw pictures and what they saw and all that. And there have been some remote viewers where, you know, they would test, the CIA would test them, and they're like, okay, so tell us what you're seeing on Earth on that, in that specific location. They would draw it, and then they would verify, and if it's accurate, then they would proceed with them and try to make sure they are remote viewing planets, let's just say the moon as well, right? So yeah, there has been reports like that too. It's nuts, man. It is crazy. Fascinating for sure. If it's real, insanely wild. If it's fake, then I guess it's another one of those fantasies. But I want to know your input on that. But we got a Waffle House index explained. Okay.
This or not, but FEMA bases their scale off of Waffle House. If there is a hurricane or what have you, say Miami's store, the one closest to Miami, is open, but Fort Lauderdale closes. Well then, FEMA knows it's bad in Fort Lauderdale, but it's not so bad close to Miami. So they run off the scale of Waffle House. That shouldn't be that way. If there's a severe storm, hurricane, tornadoes, we need to be at home with our families and make sure we're taking care of them and make sure they're protected. We don't need to be trying to serve waffles and eggs to people. Yeah. Y'all want that? Fair. Come down from corporate and do it. Let us assure our families.
We need to recognize that the technologies being called AI now are reliant on mass surveillance. They require huge amounts of data to train and tune these AI models.
What are the odds this is an AI video we're watching? Talking about AI.
Like GPT, and then they require more data to input into those models, whether it be personal data that the models use to make a decision or prediction about us, or whether it be the prompts that we enter into systems like ChatGPT. So I think we need to be very cautious with the AI narrative, where we are being led to confuse mass surveillance with intelligence, and by doing so, initiate these corporate technologies into the core of our social and governmental institutions.
I think that video is completely AI, and I think we would definitely require an AI to find out if the video is real or AI in the future. We would need the antidote, right? We would need the AI to tell if it's AI or not. The Simpsons creator, Matt Groening, is that how to say? On the show's accurate predictions. Yeah, The Simpsons always been accurate so far, right?
Any predictions? The coming lottery numbers are... we've done so many jokes over the many seasons that we've been on the air that eventually we're going to get something right. We always predict, what is the most, predict. We always write jokes on the things that are supposed to be the most absurd possibility, and it turns out that that's the way the world is these days. So everything seems to come true. But no, it's not intentional, and what can I say? Don't stop writing mean stuff about me on Twitter, okay?
You say that the latest human quest is immortality and divinity. We're all trying to be superhumans. Is that actually happening?
Yes, in places like Silicon Valley, equality is out, but immortality is in. Everybody's talking about immortality. Google has just established 2 or 3 years ago a sub-company called Calico, whose stated aim is to solve the problem of... We've solved search, now we'll solve... And they are not the only ones. And basically they are saying is not some metaphysical phenomenon. We don't have to wait for the second coming of Christ in order to solve it. A couple of geeks in a laboratory can do it.
Are they doing it?
Yeah, they are investing billions in that. Not only them, but all over the world. Basically, there are 3 ways. You can use biological engineering to change the human body, to speed up natural selection. You can use cyborg engineering, which is combining organic with inorganic parts. And you can create completely inorganic life forms. It will be not only the greatest revolution in history, it will be the greatest revolution in biology ever.
Will we still be human?
Not in the sense that we understand humanity today.
Do you know that then what's the point, right? Then what's the point? And think about this way, right? Like, if they really solve the problem, and if they really can nail down this immortality factor where nobody dies, the planet already is like, what, 8 billion people? If nobody's dying, then, or reduces the rate of majority, then it's gonna be crazy. And what they're saying is, I heard this, and he also mentions this, is that they're gonna try to put your conscious in a computer, so your body's gone, but your conscious is there. that's not even human. You know what I'm saying? Like, immortality is one of those things I don't think it would ever be solved. We can have crap like that where they put your conscious into an AI computer program, crap like that where I guess you're alive in a sense of AI, right? But you're not necessarily alive, let's be real. And even if they solve something like that, do you really think they're gonna give it to you, to me? Nah, we're peasants in their eyes, right? They're not gonna do that. They're probably gonna do it to like the 1% of the 1%, right? But even then, it's like, nah. If you're atheist, I understand that. I want, yeah, you know what? It would be really interesting to get this perspective from a religious person, regardless of your faith. What's your religious perspective on it? If you're an atheist, I want to know your perspective too, because I'm assuming an atheist mind would be like, maybe it can happen, or maybe not. Maybe not. I think it's gonna be interesting, and I want to like know what an atheist would think versus a religious person, because I'm religious as well. So I think it's impossible to solve immortality, but it would be interesting to see like what an atheist person would have to say on this one.
Knights Templars had one of the largest fleets in the world. Did you know that one of their symbols is the skull and bones? Did you know that on every grave of the Knights Templars in Europe is the skull and bones? Did you know that when the Templars were destroyed by the Pope and the King of France, the entire fleet escaped and became the pirates? Didn't you ever wonder why the pirates were called the Brotherhood? Didn't you ever wonder why they could all sail into the same port and never fight against each other?
Now I guess no, and now I am wondering for sure.
Didn't you ever wonder where the Templars' fleet went? Didn't you ever wonder where the skull and crossbones came from? Didn't you ever wonder why the Russell Trust at Yale University is called the Skull and Bones? George Bush is a member. He's a Knights Templar. And many other great men who have occupied high positions of this government. Their goal is revenge for the persecution of men of intellect and science throughout the Middle and Dark Ages by the church, by the kings and queens, by the governments, and by the ignorant mob. That's why they want to destroy all existing governments, destroy all existing religions, and put the shackles on the mob.
Was there an Egyptian civilization in the United States? This is Monk's Mound, found in Collinsville, Illinois. Its base is about the size of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and it is many times larger than the Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico. If we look at a map of the Mississippi River, we can see many cities named after mounds and many cities named after Egyptian cities like Cairo in Illinois and Memphis in Tennessee. There are mounds absolutely everywhere along the Mississippi River, going all the way down to Mexico. Back in the 1800s, there was also rumors of an Egyptian find in the Grand Canyon. There was official newspaper articles that said they found gold artifacts and mummies. The mound builders of the Mississippi also...
And just to clear the air on the Isis temple, or the Isis pyramid, found in the Grand Canyon, along with the Buddha and Shiva temple, or pyramid, here are a couple images of things found underneath these ancient pyramids. These images are available online, and they're called the Kincaid's Cave.
America is Egypt.
Named after the man that discovered them. I know I'm celebrating Thanksgiving this year a little bit differently. This looks a lot like Egypt. Here in America, you might say? Yes, here in America.
That's wild.
Ancient Egyptian tombs. Thousands of them.
I thought this was the only...
I want to show you this, okay? I want to show you this clip before I forget about it, right? So check this out. I actually marked down the shout out to J9 for combining this, and shout out to People, of course, recording this. USA 2016. Now, you would assume that nothing will be seen. You're wrong. I was mind blown. Check this. So you got this clip, right? Dashcam footage. You're thinking, hey, this is so dark, right? And then, bam, son. Like, holy crap. You see that? And now he's trying to brighten up the footage. So it's like a TR-3B, right? A triangle-shaped UFO. Now, TR-3B, of course, a lot of conspiracies that it's reverse engineered from an actual TR-3B from an alien craft, right? But the conspiracy is that, right, a lot of the TR-3Bs are ours, apparently. So they're not like aliens, but they're taken from alien technology. Make of that what you will. Mexico 2022, there's this clip as well. Yeah, truly insane, man. Truly, look at that. Holy crap. Right? It got stabilized by Travis, Italy, 2013. clearly looking like a fidget spinner just rolling, and it feels like that it's tilting as well, right? Just a little bit. Going Moldova 2024, filmed by local police. Okay, so the Babylon, the po-po, right? The po-po. So this gotta be real if it's coming from body cam footage. Look at this one, Mexico 2021. Papua New Guinea. Okay, I'm probably butchering it, my bad if I am. Yeah, those were looking like two Twinkies just floating around. Italy 2024. More shockwave UFOs here. Yeah, like, holy crap, we have so many of these incidents over Aurora Borealis as well. Run that back. So you see the Aurora or Northern Lights, kind of, not necessarily, and you see a craft just moving past. Yeah, man, these sightings are absolutely wild. Check out this video on the screen. This is one of the recent videos that we just did. Check out this video on the screen. If you enjoyed this, you're gonna love this one. We had a ton of clips in this one. If you've already seen it, then you can surely check out the video on the left.